So with the new law passed by the Immigration Minister on the 22nd of January 2024, we have to actually and really look out for schools now before we can apply to schools in Canada. So there are some schools that we really need to avoid. We need to run away from those schools, especially if we have the intention of studying and staying in Canada after our studies. If you have the intention of obtaining a permanent resident in Canada after your studies, or if you have the intention of getting a postgraduate work permit after your studies, you will have to run away from these schools that we will be going through in a short while. So when we talk about postgraduate work permits, this is very important in the life of any international student because postgraduate work permit, that period from when you finish school and when you get your postgraduate work permit and start working in Canada. So when you get your permanent residency is a very important phase of your life as an international student in Canada. So I want you to pay really good attention to this video, and I want you to also just be very attentive so that you'll be able to know the schools, and do not underestimate that phase, that period between when you finish your studies and when you apply for your postgraduate work permit, and that period you work and transit into your permanent residency. A lot of people have this false notion that once I finish my my studies, like after finishing my studies as a student in Canada, I automatically get a PR. No, that's a false perception that we need to be clear about today. So when you finish your study as a student in Canada, that takes you to another phase. And that is the phase of working as a postgraduate worker. And that postgraduate study does not come to you automatically. You also need to apply for it. And once you apply, the good thing is that you are automatically eligible for that. Immediately you finish your studies and you can prove with your certificate that you have completed your studies. So you get that postgraduate work permit. So from that period when you start working till you get your permanent resident is a very important stage or part of your life in Canada that you don't want to underestimate. So we're going to be going through the schools that the government have published on their website, the IRCC website. There are schools that is a no-go area now, and there are schools that you can go to. So what I want you to be assured of is universities that are run by government-funded university, private or government college. These are things I want you to note. What you need to know is that public-funded colleges and universities, they are eligible for a postgraduate work permit. And private universities with license, private colleges or universities with license, their own license, they are not affiliated, they are not collaborating with any other school or any other college, any other university, they have their own license. These schools, if you also apply to them, you'll be eligible for a postgraduate work permit. Other than this, if these schools does not fall into these categories, one, it's not a government-funded college, it's not a government-funded or public university, the university does not have its own a license, is affiliated to another school, or the college is private and is affiliated to another school, please do not go to those schools. You need to go to government university, public public or government college, and a private school that is not affiliated with another private school. They have their own license. Private college that have their own license and they are not affiliated to any other schools. These are the schools. So before we go to their website, I want to welcome you here. If you are my first time subscriber, thank you for subscribing. And if you are just watching and you've not subscribed, please do not hesitate to push the subscription button before you leave this channel today. And to all my wonderful returning subscribers, I want to appreciate you for always coming. I value you. I can't, words are not enough to always appreciate you. I want to thank you for the growth so far from December till now. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you for always coming back. I want to say thank you. You are well appreciated. So now I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. We're going to go through these schools so that you'll be able to understand better what I meant by designated learning institution and the schools that are presently eligible for a postgraduate work permit. I will leave the link in the description section. If there's any question, as always, do not hesitate to ask. So now we're going to be looking at, we're going to type designated learning institution in Canada. And so that brings us here. So once we get here, this is the Government of Canada website, IRCC website. So it is authentic. If there is nothing here, then you don't want to do anything. Anything that is here is authentic. If it is not here and anybody comes to tell you otherwise, please ignore, okay? Post-graduation work permits, changes to off-campus work hours. So that's not where we are going. Said the details page for your DLI. Remember, DLI means designated learning institutions, right? So we're going to click on this list buttons. And so it's asking, I said, list of designated learning institution by province or territory. So these are the different territories. These are the territories and the provinces in Canada. These are the entire list. So like a place like Alberta is big, but we're going to use a very big province, which is the province of Ontario, because they house like over about 50% or a little bit above 50% of international students. Plus, they are the main target at this time because a lot of these private institutions, they are actually situated in Ontario. So let's go with Ontario. Now, I'm going to be, you see, these are the headings: name of institution, designated learning institution number, and city where they are situated, and campuses, offers, PGWP, eligible program, okay? So you can see that this first one, A1 Global College of Arts, Business and Technology, even though it's a designated learning institution, does not offer a postgraduate work permit, as we can see from here. We're going to check for me to be able to explain in detail what I meant by affiliated colleges and how, as from September, right now, those people, because they had the privilege of being affiliated with the government schools before now, before the new rules came into effect, in January 22nd, 2024, they can still be, they are still until now. But as from September 1st, these schools will no longer be able to give you a postgraduate work permit. Unless you just want to study and go back to your country, you don't want to have that work permit experience in Canada, or you don't want to stay in Canada, okay? Let's check with Fashion College. So Fashion College is in Ontario, London, Ontario, right? So you will see that this college is a government and public funded or government college. So this is their designated institution number, and it is in London with main campuses, right? These are where the campuses are. Do they offer postgraduate work permit? Yes, they offer. But you see this school, Fashion College at ILAC, International College. This is their designated and DLI number. If you check these two DLI numbers, you see that the Fashion College in London is different from that in Toronto. So right now, you'll see a yes here because they are eligible for now. But as from September, they are not going to be affiliated. The only reason they have that now is because this college is affiliated. So when you apply to Fashion College in London, you think you apply to Fashion College in Toronto. You think you are applying to the big Fashion College in London. By the time you get to Canada, you will not be surprised to see that you actually did not apply to this public funded university, but rather the place you apply to is Toronto. And this is a public school. This ILAC International College is a private school that is affiliated with a public school. Do you understand that? So schools like this do not go, because as from September, this year is going to change to no. They won't be able to give you a postgraduate work permit. Okay. So we're going to also try other colleges. We have the Trials College. You see this Trials College, Business Technological Health Care Incorporative, is also affiliated. If you see, is affiliated to Mohawk College. Mohawk College is a government-funded or public college. So this trio, they collaborated with Mohawk College to get their eligibility to offer a postgraduate work permit. But as from September, this college will not be able to. They will not be able to. So these are some of the things that we need to really do. You see, Trial College on its own, the one in Hamilton does not have, because it's not affiliated to anyone. The campus in Brampton does not have. So if you are applying to a Trial College from anywhere and you don't really know, maybe your friend went to Trial College that is affiliated to Mohawk College and they have a postgraduate work permit, and you also said, oh, my friend went to Trial College, oh, let me do it and also go there. Then you apply and you'll be shocked at the end of the day that they don't have. The one in Brampton, Hamilton, Kitchener, and even London, Ontario, they don't have. So we have to be very careful about the schools we go to. We need to really check, go to the immigration website. Any question you have about immigration at this time as an international student needs to be properly checked out. And if you have questions about how to go about this, I'm going to put this link there. And if you want to talk to me one-on-one, I can also put my email there. We can book a one-on-one appointment and then we'll talk over it. Okay? So that is about it. So if you have any question, just go to this website. Any school you want to go to, any school at all, like any school you want to go to in Canada, please check it out here. So if you are going to, maybe this is Ontario, maybe if you are coming to Saskatchewan to study, you are coming to Saskatchewan to study, you want to check that out as well. Okay, I guess I have to go through the drop again. So let's say Saskatchewan, right? We should go now. So you see a lot of these schools in Saskatchewan, the Academy of Fashion Design, is a designated learning institution, but you see it does not have a postgraduate eligibility. So any school you want, any province you want to go to, please go to this website, type that province, and it's one thing for them to be designated learning institution. It is another thing for them to also have eligibility for your postgraduate work permit. You need that postgraduate work permit as an international student. Okay. So with that being said, I want to encourage somebody. I want you to know that there are still schools that are giving work permits. The government did not say, I think it was misinterpreted. I didn't even understand it at the initial part. I was really confused about it. The government said as from September 1st of September 2024, these schools will no longer be eligible to give a postgraduate work permit. They cannot give a postgraduate work permit. So you come to Canada, what that means is that you come to Canada, you do your studies, after your studies, you go back home. So that is what it means. It means when they said, that's what they meant when they said, oh, you can no longer be eligible. These schools, these private schools, will not be able to give you a postgraduate work permit. Okay? So if you are attending a public school, a public college, you will be eligible for a postgraduate work permit, but your spouse will not be eligible for a work permit. A lot of people thought, they said, oh, it doesn't really matter which school, you won't be eligible for a postgraduate work permit. No. It's the student, any student who applies to a public funded school will be eligible for a postgraduate work permit, but their spouses will not be eligible for a work permit. The exemption to that is I dealt with that in one of my videos. The exemption to that is masters. I'm not going to repeat myself. If you have any questions about who is eligible, who is not eligible, you watch that video. Okay, but just know that before you apply to any schools, please, the website I'm going to leave on the description section. Any province you are going to, click on the drop list on the website. It will show the different provinces. Any province of your choice, click on them, and then it's going to show the schools in that province. If you see any school that is affiliated, please do not go to that school unless they have their own license. Like, for example, if I'm going to Abigail School, Abigail College of Commerce, and is a privately owned school. So if Abigail's College of Commerce have their own license to practice independently, and they have a postgraduate work permit after my studies, then I'm okay to apply to that school, even though it's private, but it is on its own. It's an independent school. It is not affiliated to any college. It is not affiliated to any government college, any government university. It is an entity of its own. Then you can get a postgraduate work permit. But any private school that is affiliated or collaborating with another school does not have their own does not have their own license by themselves. Please do not go there unless you just want to come study without work experience and you go back home. Okay, I hope this has been informative. Again, I want to appreciate you for your time. I can't thank you guys enough. And if you have not subscribed, please do not hesitate to subscribe. It's very important you subscribe because each time I upload my video, you'll be notified that I have loaded a new video. A lot of things are evolving, a lot of changes are just coming everywhere. So you don't want to lose out in any of these things. You want to catch up with the ongoing trends, okay? So once again, thank you. And I want to wish all of you the best of luck. You know, don't forget to make research about the schools that you are going to be applying to before you apply to any school. Okay, all the best in your pursuit and dream of coming to Canada to study. It is doable. Do not give up on your dream. Do not let any immigration law or rules change your dreams or thought of coming to Canada. You can make it. You can do it. Just keep pushing for it. And with this, I say have a good one and best of luck. Thank you for watching.